Yeah. I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
And boom, welcome to the live. Hey, Adam.
Hey, how are you?
Good. It is, you guys, I know that I'm in Canada, obvious. Well, I shouldn't say obvious, but obvious to the people that usually frequent this channel. And of course, Adam's out of the United States. But it is hot today. It is like, I know in the UK it's like 10 o'clock at night. I don't know if it's raining over there in most places that you guys live. How is it over there in
It's actually beautiful today. I think it's like 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So
you know,
it's a little windy, but it's pretty.
Yeah, you know, husband comes home and he's like, "Oh, it's mint out there." My husband's British, if anyone doesn't know, and so he says these weird words sometimes. But anyways, I'm like, mint, and he's like, "Yeah, it's beautiful outside." He goes, "Want to go fishing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got to do a live." 23 degrees in my flat, yeah. You know, it's just sometimes different words like that, right? Like in my flat. I remember, so most people, like I said, that are from the UK wouldn't know this, but when I was like 5 years old, no, it must have been a little less, I don't know, about 5 years old, my real dad, who's dead now, and rest his soul, he was a loser. But anyways, he had stole my brother when my mom had left him. And so he had lured my mom, or basically had stalked where we were living. And he made my mom take us go out for dinner. My mom finally agreed, right, just to talk to him and whatever. So anyways, as we were driving back home, you guys, he basically took over. My mom was driving the car, and my dad reached over, was pushing at my mom, stopping the car. Me and my twin sister and my other sister got out, and my brother stayed in the car. After that, he took my brother to England. So for a long time, my real dad was bouncing around between the different countries, England mostly, and then of course he lost his job. He was a very smart man. We had two toy stores in here in Vancouver, where I live, in Bloody Alley and Gastown. And when he went to I guess England, when they finally caught up with my dad, he was like working in a stock bond place or whatever. And of course, what was he doing? He was embezzling. And anyway, so he started hopping the countries again. So when my brother came along, he started using all these. He was speaking British, and I'm like, and it was the weirdest thing when you see your brother years later, and he's literally talking with this British accent. You know, he doesn't now, but it was weird. And he would use the word flat and whatever. My brother has told his story on Facebook, and it's actually quite sad. But anyways, so it was just the strangest thing when you're watching your brother use all these like words and this accent, that it just was weird. Anyways, yeah. Well, honestly, Lucia, um, I didn't really overly know my brother a lot for that reason, and he didn't come back into my life till we were like teenagers, and then that's when my dad had come through to Canada, back and forth, and would hop back to England and stuff like that. And my friend is UK talks American, isn't it? Sometimes the South African accent gets me too. When I see a white person speaking, obviously South African to me, because you don't really see that too often. And all of a sudden you go say hello and they got this accent and you're like, whoa, what's that? Because, I don't know. It's just one of those things like my brother, you're just not used to seeing it. But anyways, yeah, my brother actually put out his story there on Facebook. And honestly, very sad when I've listened to it. My brother really, what my dad made my brother do in the sense of, he basically was young. He had to steal for food and stuff like that. And they were like living around at different places, houses. And my dad, this part's disgusting. This lady invites my dad and my brother, I guess, into their house. And oh, my dad, you're such a loser, bless you. He literally has fallen in love with a 14-year-old girl. And he asked the mother that he's living with my brother, if he can marry her. And he's like got to be in his like say late 40s or something at that. No, probably 30s. He was actually 40s, because he was about 15 or 20 years older than my mom. And so it was like, ugh. Yeah. My dad, when I saw him, he was always so pathetic. I was like, can I buy you a coffee? He was like one of the biggest loser dads ever. But you know what? I never dwelled on that. It is what it is, right? You know, um, it's life, such is it. But I just felt sorry for my brother. That in the UK there, he had to steal. He had to basically take care of himself. He had to cook. He caught the place on fire one time. Because it was just him, and they were doing welfare. They had to do a welfare check, and yeah, and then that happened. Then they had to keep bouncing around from like I said, country to country, because my mom was trying to get child support for us three kids, and back in the day, you know, and yeah, anyways, when he died, I actually I lived in a different province. I didn't go to his funeral. Sometimes people are parents, but they shouldn't be parents. He was one. So you guys, I actually have 8 brothers and sisters. Uh, and listen to this, just okay. I know this is a little personal a bit here on this before the live as we get started into Nicola Bulley. But so Timmy, Randy, Billy, Ricky, Kenny. Okay, my nickname is Sunny, but my real name is Sonia. So my mom, Gloria, my older sister Paula, Tanya, Sonia, which is me. Hence, my mom always called me Sunny, and or Sunshine, and my brother called me Sunny as well. Hence, I kind of just took that name because I thought that it was like, everyone was calling me it that didn't even know it was my nickname anyway, like customers and different things. But anyways, so my 4 brothers, my other 4 brothers besides Kenny, are older. So of course, my dad had, 8 children altogether.
Wow.
As we were kids, we were growing up. I mean, my brothers and that all live around here. I don't never see them. I was never I was always in a different province living away. So although I know them and remember them and everything like that multiple times, they all actually live within this area here. My older
Really?
sister, my brother are more connected to them, but they're really nice people, except for Ricky. Ricky was always in jail all the time.
There's always one.
There's always that one apple. So anyways, let's quickly, you guys, let's say hi Pincho. We'll say Pincho Paxton's. It's Carmen Shames in the house. Hey Dabster, how are you, buddy? Thank you for sending me the article on Reese Roger. I saw that just before I hit my head to go nap, just before this live, to be honest, because I was up since 4 a.m. working on my other videos. And Lucy Letby took the stand today. I put out a video for that, but Lucy Letby took the stand today. It's never a good sign when somebody takes the stand themselves. So she must feel like what she has to say is, going to impact the jury. I'm sorry, Lucy. I'm going to find you guilty on my own accord. When you just read a case and you're just like, come on, you don't write something that says, like I took their lives, meaning I killed them, and you don't
post it,
on a post-it, and then go, yeah, I was just feeling stressed out, and oops, I got PTSD and all that now, and nobody, no normal person writes down or sits there and writes, yeah, I killed them. Yeah, no, okay, like hand to the face on that one. But it's just that stuff.
And let me send a condolence card.
Yeah, let me send a condolence card. Hey, or let me just be on every single shift that happened to these kids. Crazy story there out of the UK there in, am I going to say this right? Cheshire?
Cheshire.
Yeah. Evening, everyone. Hi, Steve. How are you? That's my husband's name. Steve Austin. He's from Nuneaton. 20 minutes from Birmingham. He always goes, it's right smack in the middle, the butthole of the UK is what he says. I'm sure some of you guys probably feel that way. Sometimes I hear other people say that too. I'm like, my husband says that Nuneaton is. Dabster, in England, we call the ground the floor. Okay. This is a Canadian, I haven't covered a Canadian case yet. Does that count? I haven't. It was the U.S. Case, Delphi. If you guys are aware of the Delphi case, that one grabbed hold of me in the Suzanne Morphew case at the same time there. Hello, husband. Are you good? You want to say hi to the live? Hi to the live. Okay. Shelly. Hi, Shelly. How are you? I'm just going to give you guys some shout outs. Streamlabs is in the house. Yeah, Streamlabs is a little cranky sometimes. If you don't hit things right, sometimes it will say you're doing a link. Sunny, I'm Drama Llama. Oh, hi, Wendy. Okay, you're Drama Llama. Drama Llama Ding Dong. I just changed my name to Wendy Canadian in the UK. Hi, Nico. How are you? Lucia, how are you? Brooke Walker, nice to see you. In fact, you guys, I just want to say that we're I think 4 away from 8K subs. I just happened to take a look as we were coming on. So thank you guys for everyone that subbed to this channel. That was a really horrific, I don't know if you guys in the UK know this, but there was a really horrific case that happened yesterday where they were on Sunday, and they were looking for 2 missing girls, and they came across 7 bodies on the land of Jesse McFadden. And I'm sure that we're going to hear that Jesse probably pew, and then went pew himself. Yeah. Hey, Deb, how are you?
2 boys, 4 girls, or 2 boys, 3 girls, and then his wife himself.
And you said the young daughter was deaf, right?
That's what I heard last night, right before I went to bed.
Hi, Elaine. How are you? I'm from England, and the ground outside and the floor is inside. Essex boys. Hi, Essex boys. How are you? Good to see you guys digging in now harder into the Nicola Bulley case. Like I said, we've done quite a bit with the Nicola Bulley case. It really, it was about 2 weeks or so into it when I seen it come out. I seen a Gizla, thank you, whoever just subscribed. I seen a Gizla True Crime, a Grizzly's True Crime there covering it, and I was like, and then I thought I would look into it the one day, and then it just grabbed me. It just, for me, and that was about Adam as well, Karen Broderick, and it's because it's a mysterious case. It was just seems so strange because you honestly thought, I think maybe some of you guys might think this as well, that, you figured that, okay, this missing woman, and then within a couple of days, okay, story over. You never expected that it would go on as long as it did, Well,
that's what made it intriguing. And we've discussed that several times as far as, because nothing about the case should be complicated, but with every turn of this case, there were, so many different possibilities that no one can make sense of it. And the police, I mean, I think we can all agree, didn't do themselves any favor.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely not. And the more I keep putting out videos, I just put out one today with regards to, Isla Triquar. And that's where so she did a live, or she did an interview. I think was it on the morning? Can't remember now. And then I had to take it out of my one video because I got a copyright strike. So I put it into the other video at 1.5 times speed. So sometimes it happens, especially like certain companies, like you always know never to use Fox News stuff, or you're going to get a copyright strike typically, unless you've changed it about, and stuff like that. News Nation, you're always good and stuff like that. But anyways, so I put one out with Isla. And so Isla does this interview. And then, she's talking about how she's talking to the guy with the white fluffy dog. Okay. And his initials are, they start with K. Let me just put it that way. The first name starts with K. And anyways, so then she has this Twitter post that she has, and she's talking about how, now all of a sudden this guy now was on the path and another witness seen after. And then you go look for that post, and then that one's taken down too. Now, the whole point of this, Pincho, by the way, is the fact of all the inconsistencies. And that's what's turned this case into a joke because of that. From the media so it's really the media and the police that have caused really the havoc themselves. The way the police handled the case and the way that they've changed the timelines over and over. So after a point, you don't even know what to believe. So on top of the media changing, and the police changing that, you literally have zero to go on. Nothing for Nicola Bulley whatsoever from the school point on, right? Besides some witnesses they're saying, and even the witnesses, honestly, you don't even really know what's accurate there, to be honest. You've seen Sky News put out the red as the first witness. We've seen about the pram. And if you look back on some certain articles, it will say that a witness has come forward. And it was never ending. And all you're thinking of is, what a joke. Like, honestly, no wonder people are, all over the map. And we'll show you the article in a second, where it says, and this is where I knew and lots of other people did, where you're like, well, hold on. If the phone was on the ground and they're saying it's on the ground, so why did Ron then say it was on the bench? And so that's where that whole thing came from, is that in this article, we'll get into that in just a second. But anyways, hi, we're just going to call her Elizabeth, right? Okay. I think she does it on purpose. Every time I see that, I can't help but think of that long, I think it is from Ireland, isn't it? Wales? That really long, where that news reporter is going, and this is
that's in Wales, not Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Wales. Okay, and it's the funniest thing to listen to when he says,
Been to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I'm refrained from sending hello message. Very strange. Why am I refrained? I don't know. We sent that message.
Yeah, no, it was Streamlabs. There was a punctuation and then without a space, and so Streamlabs thinks that someone's trying to post
Okay, that's what we were talking about, Elaine. Is when sometimes you hit the wrong punctuation, Streamlabs says, it looks like you're trying to post a link. Hey Matthew, thank you for being a subscriber. That's my son's name, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Matt, as he got older. I named him Matt because it was like a strong name. But Matthew when he was younger. You know how when you're a kid, right? And it's like Matthew, Lauren, and then you start calling them their middle name, but normally it's Matt until you get mad at them and stuff like that. Elaine, yeah, exactly. Hi Carol Smith, how are you? Let's see here. Yeah, just giving hi Kaz. Just giving some hellos. I think we're at the bottom now. Yep, we're at the bottom now. If the article is covered in adverts, okay. Pincho, what honestly, what site don't I go to on any of these things where they're always covered in ads? I mean, you guys got that. What is it? The Daily Mail and this one is the Manchester News. Okay, this is your guys' Manchester News. If you say no comment, jury will always assume guilt.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I did not know that you have to be that that it's really common to take the stand in the UK. I was unaware of that.
Yeah. Now, Essex Boys, I don't honestly know if that's how you truly smell that name, or if you were just hitting the keyboard just to prove your point of how long that name was. But if it is, Adam, quickly Google that. Google that name. And you tell me if that's, wait, fair.
I don't
You
like
see the
to
word
I don't like
fair
to
in there.
Google anything that ends in gooch.
Gooch. Gotch. I think it's gotch. Lot, next gotch. Gotch. Like,
It didn't work with my joke.
So I think if that is how you spell it, I think we should all just sit here and appreciate that for a second, because obviously if it is, I don't know. I feel like you were hitting the keyboard, buddy. 58 letters.
That person would be off my Christmas card list just because I don't want to type that out. I don't want to write that.
Could you imagine posting to that place? Like, who in there? Like, seriously, give yourself a shortcut. Like, call yourself whatever. Like, that is just absolutely the most absurdest thing. I literally can watch that video where that reporter is speaking it, and it just makes me giggle so bad. It's a real name, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that all that.
Is that some couple whales?
Just give a round of applause for that, honestly. I mean, honestly, that's okay. Yes, a Welsh town in the UK. That's it. It's a real name in Wales. Guys, that sums up Wales. I remember the end of it sounds like I just remember when he's talking too, and it's just like, and you're just like, really, like, did that guy just sit there and practice how to say, like, that reporter, how to say that name? Or I guess maybe he was from there, probably. It just is like a whole different dialect in itself, eh? Alex Belfield just got 5 years in. Oh, really? Well, I'll tell you, nothing shocks me. I don't think it matters what level of politics, if you're in politics or if you're just, whether it's a doctor, whatever, nothing really shocks me, because it's almost like it's expected. Every time we turn around, there's CSAM, all these predators online. There's a lot of crackerjacks out there in this world. If we could just rein them in, put them on an island, hit that little lighter, have a good day, because there is a lot of sick, twisted people in this world. Well, look at Lucy Leppy if she's convicted. All right, that's gonna, like I said, that case in itself, and there's some horrific cases out there.
Absolutely.
And don't talk to Welshman whose gas as cold. Wait,
who's cold?
Don't talk to a Welshman whose gas is cold. Is that like backwards? Yes, it was. Okay, so let's bring up that article, you guys, that we speak of. Okay, that would be, let's see, this one here, and let's take off this comment here, and let's make it a little bit bigger, and we'll just take us off the screen for a sec. Okay, so this is the February 1st, okay, of 2023. Again, it's the Manchester Evening News. Let's see, is there too many ads here? No, not too bad, right? It's not like somewhere they just pop up in your face when you're going to it. So let's just read this, you guys, and then we'll go back over it. So a missing mom was seen laughing and joking moments before she vanished while walking her dog, according to a concerned friend. Nicola Bulley's pet Springer Spaniel Willow was found off her harness on a path along the River Wire on St. Michael's on the Wire last Friday morning, but she was nowhere to be seen. It is understood that the 46-year-old's mobile, now I think they aged her on that one, didn't they? Because she's like it's almost like, I'm sorry, but you guys, it's almost like a shit reporter wrote this. So whoever wrote this, you honestly rather suck at your job. And I'll explain a little bit more why, because they don't even know how to spell as they're doing it. I can forgive myself because I don't claim to be a reporter. But when you're a reporter or you're putting out, a post, you should be able to spell, first of all, or at least overlook your work, even though I can't spell the word episode, apparently. was found on the ground next to the bench. Okay, but she was nowhere to be seen. As understood, the 46-year-old's mobile phone was found on the ground next to the bench, overlooking the water, which is believed to be an 18-foot water underdrop, which was said by quite a few people actually about the 18-foot in the middle. Now that's probably on high tide, like most people are talking about. Her friend, who wishes to remain anonymous, said she spoke to a pair, and that's the ones that said that she was laughing and joking, who may have been the last people to see Nicola before she went missing, the Mirror reports. So they say she was laughing and joking with them as she went by. The friends said they added that 2 other dog walkers later came across her phone and recognized the screensaver picture. Okay, not one, but 2 other dog walkers later came across her phone. So if anything, that would be Penny and that would be Ron. Okay, if anything. The friend added that they were unable to unlock the phone and contacted a friend who then called St. Michael's on the Wire Church of England Primary School, where Nicola had dropped her 2 children earlier that morning. Meanwhile, Nicola's partner, Paul Ansel, was contacted. He proceeded to rush to the scene from the family home 3 miles away from Inskip before notifying the police. The friend added that, as far as I'm aware, no one called the police until Paul arrived, which is correct. And that's why I just did that video with Penny and where that came from. Again, it came from this lady repeating something, obviously. And obviously that was misinformation because the police would have been there when Paul got there, which they weren't. So they went on to say that the dog walker spotted Nicola's canine pet as she came through. There we go. See, through a fate. How about the word gate? I think it's the word gate, not fate. Onto the towpath, but they became suspicious when she saw the harness and lead being dragged on the floor. The friend added, the gent has looked, which is supposed to be had looked. The gent had looked on the floor, and 2 feet from the bench, there's a phone. Okay, so I remember, like I said, I remember seeing this article. And,
right.
And like I said, this is of the first, which is a couple of days after, right? Remember, all the timelines start changing around this time, Okay, let's see. Does this one say anything? Anyway, we'll go back to chat here for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, she put, okay. Let's see here. Nick says, I heard that the lead was actually found with the harness. That became later that they said that the lead was there with the harness. And that's what I'm saying.
Armchair Detective.
Pardon?
Didn't that come from Armchair Detective that it was lost?
No.
I mean, that she put the harness back on. I mean.
Oh, okay. I don't listen to Armchair Detective. I have listened to him very infrequently. I like to look at stuff myself and go over stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just pointing out. I believe that that's where some of that information came from, which is maybe why I'm saying I don't know. I don't know if it can be. I don't know if we can trust that it's true.
I don't think that we can trust anything to be true, to be honest with you, in all fairness. And this is my point of, hence the videos, obviously, Nicola, and just as you see the like the full picture and you keep going through it and you're just like how many more discrepancies can there possibly be? And this is why, people are like, no, this happened, that happened. Because honestly, if you go to the different articles, they're all saying this time, this. And like I said, so here you go again, right? Because to me, it made a huge difference if the phone was on the ground versus the phone being in, of course, on the bench. Because if it was on the ground, that would more seem stranger than it just being on the bench if you thought about it. Because again, that's where you especially would start thinking about the third party involvement, at the time, because then you would think that somebody perhaps grabbed her and phone went flying or whatever, Yeah. So anyways, Defo do not trust AD. I don't watch him. I've vaguely seen the gentleman whatsoever. I know that I can paint a lot better than him. I know that. Um, Shoot, I put my paintings away. My painting skills are on point compared to his. But hey, you know what? If that's his talent and he's trying to sell those and different stuff like that, and I just happened to catch a piece the other day, and I don't, like I said, I don't watch the gentleman, and all of a sudden he was showing a clip, and this painting comes down, and I know from something else that I'd seen where he was painting, and I'm just, you know what, if it's his work of art, then all the power to you, dude. My paint skills though would put his to shame. I like
Absolutely.
but you know what? At least, he's trying. At least he's trying. You know, it's hard not to judge sometimes because when I'm in the dentist office and I see paintings, and then the dentist says, "Yeah, my mom did those." You just can't help but judge a little and be like, "Ooh, yeah, okay, definitely mom did those."
Remember, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
I know, and that's why to me art is art, right? It could be the ugliest thing in the world and somebody's gonna love it, you know? Doesn't matter. Art is art. We will never know the whole truth. Oh, and that's why we posed that question as well in the poll. And just to let you know the answer to that, we have 59 people, 58, it just dropped one. So the question here, let me get rid of this, close. A stupid ad wants to pop in there. Will you believe the results of the inquest results for Nicola Bulley with all misinformation? Sorry, guys, I got to squeeze it in there when it's like you only got 100 words. But anyway, so 59% have said no, that they won't believe the inquest. And honestly, I don't blame you. I don't blame anyone for not believing it either. You know, if because let me put it this way: in the U.S. and Canada, you guys, compared to the UK, we have so much more freedom information than you guys ever do. Like your cases aren't even broadcasted, you know, and you can request a ton of the camera footage and all this information. And I think with the Nicola Bulley case, they literally stopped from the freedom of information until such a further time. Isn't it convenient how they could just turn it off and turn it on whenever they want to? But the thing is here is that, like I said, I feel like that in the in the USA and Canada here, that we have a lot more access to the information, like the court records, the documents, the search warrants, the affidavits, are like so much more. I just feel that by covering, especially Nicola's case, I just feel like there's a huge difference in what we have access to on this side of the pond versus what you guys got over there. I would be frustrated, to be honest with you, because when you get used to a process that allows you to truly have the information, and even if it's not available, some of it now, it becomes available. But
right.
Like, do you guys even get to have live broadcasting from any of your cases? Is that even a thing in England? To be honest with you, because like Lucy Leppy, I'd love to be a fly on that wall,
Wow.
But instead you just get to watch tweets come out and different things. What's disgraceful is Ansel heard at 10:50 a.m. when went to the field, was back home at 11:25 a.m. But was back at home at 11:25 to speak to the police with journey time, parking, and getting to the lower field. He spent approximately only 10 minutes there. Well, yeah, but don't you feel, Essex, that even Nicola's timeline at 8:26 she leaves the house, right? So 8:26, it takes 7 minutes just to drive there. And the thing is that was just showing her getting into the car. There would have been another, at least give or take another minute or two. Okay, so let's just say 8:28, right? So 8:28, and then to be seen on the towpath, drop the kids off. So what? Did she just go, okay, kids, let me just kick you out of the car? usually you'll get your kids, give you kisses and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, it's like 8:43 or whatever. She's walking down the towpath. I thought that timeline was so crunched. Honestly, that would be like a speedway thing. You drive your kids to school, you get out of the car, hey, bye, hi, bye, blah 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 blah, off with Willow you go.
Well, and think about the fact that too, if you're going to go off of if your opinion is that she unalived herself or she took her own life, I mean, what do you think she's going to do, a 10-second goodbye with those girls when she in theory knew that it would be the last time she was going to see them? I mean, I that doesn't seem plausible to me.
Well, I mean, how do we know? I mean, we don't even have nothing to prove that she was from the school point on. I mean,
well, no, exactly. And that's what I'm just I'm saying that I know that a lot of people think that she took her own life, and I'm just saying that it would make that timeline even tighter.
Well, at the end of the day, there was truly only 3 possibilities towards the whole thing, and it's just a matter of what people believe. But like I said, this is how me and you have always felt about this case. A case that should have been solved right away. The ineptness of the police in the UK, and I'm just going to put it out there, they suck on this case. They do. And I really feel like that they felt like they were being transparent. That's the joke of it all. They felt that they were being transparent. Maybe the police should come over to Canada, tell you what transparency is, a little bit, or the USA, a little bit more transparency. So it was the fact that they actually thought that they were being transparent, when really all they did was, from the get-go of the case, were sloppy and they were inept, right? They made huge errors and they wanted people to believe a fictitious event with no proof, and that was the bottom line of it. And they wanted to turn around and blame. And that's where I have my issue, because they're acting so arrogant and so as if like they're pushing the narrative that they want. And if you don't go by what they're saying, then you're basically almost a troublemaker. And we're going to give all our attention to all these sleuths. And it's like, shut up, do your job, find Nicola, and don't worry about the sleuths. That's not your job, But then they go and arrest Curtis Media, and they sit there and they bully that around and stuff like that. Because again, it's like when people are, because of their own ineptness, they're taking it out on others. It's like how they were playing. And I just thought that was a joke. And then blaming Peter Falding as if he was the big person in charge there, and that was just disgusting. I just feel it was all disgusting. And I just get very mad when I think about it. Like, just the fact that they're just sitting there with this arrogance. And even Isla, even though I think she's a flake half the time, honestly, a beautiful flake, but a flake. But even Isla was like, in that interview, is saying like, look, I've never seen them be so defensive. It's like, like she felt the same thing that a lot of people felt, just the arrogance and the way that they were conducting, how they were speaking. And then, of course, we don't want to get into the vulnerabilities, right? And then them saying that we're not going to talk about it. Oh, hey, but the family wants us to know, to let you guys know. So we're going to put that out there like it is. That one right there. Again, see, it could go on and on and on. Your partner is missing. You spend longer than 10 minutes looking. Ansel knew it was a waste of time looking. To expect the police to be looking at him on day one shows it was a plan. Oh, well, I mean, Essex, we all know that the first person they go to, obviously, is the partner. That's a given with any case. And the thing is that as much as it's true, I remember the percentage was actually quite low to that it was actually the partner. Even though a lot of cases that we follow, like if you guys haven't heard of it, the Anna Walsh one, money is the root of all evil. I'll tell you that much. Right.
Male fragility and money.
Yeah,
because he couldn't handle his little ego being hurt by the idea that he thought she was having an affair, just like Barry Morphew. Sorry, those are two U.S.
Yeah. Suzanne Morphew's case, 3 years. So, May 10th is when she disappeared. Of course, the husband was away working. The daughters were camping, and oops, She just vanishes. Oh, Suzanne, I want you back so bad. Shut the hell up, Barry.
Yeah.
Freaking killer.
I'll take one day off work and then go back.
Yeah, I know, right? Right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go put some cement down. I'll probably cover my wife's body under it while I'm there too. Oh, such ridiculous, things. But now that you, as Penny is also suspicious. Yeah, okay, you guys. So this is what I also need to understand about that whole thing. So clearly, Penny, as I did a video, clearly Penny did not tie up the dog. Okay, so this is where the truth is all muddled there, because Ron says, Penny, I was trying to call my wife. My wife was trying to call me. Penny was talking to my wife, and she said, you better tie up those dogs, which meant that if Penny came across those dogs first, or the phone first and whatever, which, I mean, I don't know. For all I know, it was both her and Ron at the same time, because that one article has at least a little bit more truth in it. So maybe it was the two of them that came across it at the same time. I don't know. But it's one of those things like, okay, so Penny, if you were the only one that came across Willow, let's just say, in the phone and whatever, why didn't you tie up the dog? You clearly didn't tie up the dog if Ron is saying that you're calling his wife to tell him to tie up the dog. So in my head, all I'm thinking is this. It's 9:33, if that's even accurate, you guys. We don't even know what's accurate. It's 9:33. Penny, I don't even believe Penny had an appointment, as much as it seemed like she had to go. She went home to figure out whose that was. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I know that when my phone, like even if she is in a call, my phone, if I haven't used it for like, say, a couple of minutes, my screensaver comes on, which will show me and my husband on the screensaver. So that's probably what happened with that phone, if according to that article, and it was locked. But that's what happens to my phone. I have an iPhone personally, and that's what happens to my phone. If I'm not using it and it's been sitting there for a few minutes, it automatically is timed that the screensaver lock mode will come on. And then, like I said, my screensaver is me and my husband. But anyways, so in my head, I'm like, that this doesn't make sense. There's no way that any normal person, Penny, would leave a dog and a phone on the bench and walk away from it by themselves. Like, no, what kind of thinking would that be? What realistic, normal person would say, yeah, I can't find anyone. I'm just going to leave the dog off the leash here or the harness. I'm just going to leave that dog alone, and I'm going to leave the phone on the bench. And that, because you can tell, even according to, was it Rebecca Smith or was it the other one there, that said, like, and after a while, people return back to the bench, like after a while. So again, that doesn't make sense to me, guys. There has to be something more to it. Like, either it was two people that had come across that phone, and then Penny had to do that, because it doesn't make sense that any decent human being would walk away from a dog that's off the leash and a phone on the bench, and to think that nobody would come across that phone in that whole 40 minutes, at least before they return back, or at least when Penny had called whoever, the vet, the this, the that. Right. It just didn't make sense, because Paul didn't get there till 11 o'clock. He rang the police on the way, he said. He said the police were there for 11:25, and that they had rang him back at the bench and said, hey, get home, blah, blah, blah. So I know I'm way behind in comments, so I'm just going to scroll through a bunch. Sorry, guys. Only because I know that.
Especially also because, wasn't the narrative, like in the beginning, that that Penny had twine in her pocket and that's how she tied Willow up?
Well, she couldn't have.
But don't you remember? I remember being told that though.
Yes. That wouldn't make sense, right? So again, that's just another thing that was either introduced or was true. But the thing is that, again, you got Ron, who's obviously a friend or a relative of Penny's, who's, saying that Penny says time up. If Penny knew that she'd already tied the dog up, why would she call her his wife? And first of all, why aren't you calling Anne Marie? Why aren't you calling Ron? They're the ones that are at the park. Why are you calling the wife? So there's something amiss with that whole stuff. There's something not right, right? If it doesn't sound right to the ear, my grandma always said this. If it doesn't sound right to the ear, it's because there's something wrong. It's something amiss. It's when you're thinking about it. There's no way that you would think a normal person would just walk away from a dog that's untied, and leave a phone on a bench for how no, like, and then it takes her time to get home, Penny, and then pick up the phone and call, have, say Anne Marie or Ron or whoever, blah, 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 blah. I think that Ron, because I seen in another article where it said that the gentleman had come right basically behind her. Like basically that Penny seemed to come in first and then Ron right after.
I think someone said 3 minutes later.
I seen Pincho say something about that in here. He said Penny's there at 9:30 and Ron there at 9:33. How did Penny do all these things and phone Ron's wife in 3 minutes? Well, like I said, this is where she went home, right? This is where Penny supposedly had went home. I mean, it was said, and again, it was said that she had an appointment, but when not Rebecca, who's the other lady? It's on the tip of my tongue, whatever her name is, you guys. Whatever her name is, Rebecca, whatever, Smith or something like that. Anyways, so it's like when she's talking, at no point does she say she had an appointment to go to. She just basically says, she sees this phone, she makes her way back home, she calls the vet, she calls some other people, and whatever, da. At no point did there was an appointment, but that appointment came from somewhere. Oh, come on, dude. Really? I got a lawnmower guy outside. Really, with a weed whacker. Freaking weed whack him, I swear it. Nothing worse than that, though, windows open and dogs come out, start barking. I don't believe their appointment either. Yeah, I don't believe their appointment. Why are some of my comments not showing? Well, I see that one. So if I see that one.
Mama Bear Blue, chances are, good to see you, by the way. The chances are, if you're trying to do a message more than, I think it's 30 seconds we have slow mode on for, your message won't show if you try to post a comment within 30 seconds.
Okay, you guys, we're at 7,999 subscribers. Who's watching now? Well, everyone that's watching now probably had to subscribe in order to be you had to wait 20 minutes before you could talk. So you're not a subscriber? Come on, somebody subscribe that's not subscribed. Even if it goes to 8,000 and then goes down a couple, that's fine. Yeah, it's just the fact of hearing it, seeing it. All right, and if you are the 8,000 subscriber, let me know if it's you. Give you a shout out. And okay, weed whacker dude, seriously. Okay, I'm gonna put myself on mute for a sec. You talk.
Okay.
Read comments for a sec.
My screen is freezing up. What is wrong? So someone said Penny went to the dump, and then someone else said Penny had a hair appointment. I actually never remember. I never looked into where Penny was going. Penny has to get home in 3 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I find it odd, because I remember Penny. Her whole thing was that she hated when people had their dogs off of the lead. So, I mean, to me, it makes sense that she would have tied Willow up if she had something on her. But then why would she need to ask Ron's wife to tie her up, or, to ask anyone to tie her up?
Still waiting for that one person to go to 8,000 subscribers. Calling all cars. Be on the lookout for the 8,000 subscriber. Come on.
Carol Smith says the first report said the dog was found at 10:15. How do we know what the truth is? Exactly. I mean, I get so confused with the times on this case because we've been told, different times for so many of the different things. I have a chart somewhere that I've had to redo like 3 times.
No.
I'm having trouble scrolling through the comments for some reason on my StreamYard.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change that. I was trying to scroll.
That's okay. I was like, I knew it both times we attacked it. Yes, I'm seeing. I think I post too fast. Okay, Mama Bear Blue. Well, I don't know. There's a 35-second delay.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've done that before, so it's probably what it is.
Yeah, maybe that's why Mama Bear, because there's a 35-second, or else it gets overwhelming, with people's chat in there, because you try to start seeing some people's, right, but then if somebody can post every second, and I'm sorry, but there's people like my brother-in-law, who will sit there and he'll be like, where are enter you? What are you to enter doing? Blah, blah, blah. And you're just like ding, ding, ding. And people do that in messages here too. And it's just like, try to keep it to like a post,
Right.
Let's see here. What do we got? You got to know, Sunny, the police only do something if it's a vulnerable person. Otherwise, they wait 24 hours.
Right. Yeah, it's true. And, and then everyone seemed so surprised when they came out and said that Nicola was vulnerable. But I mean, I think it actually says I know that this article is in question, but it even says, I think, later in this article about how the number of people that were searching. I mean, just later that afternoon, even. So.
There was I'd have to find it again, but there was another one, where the father was speaking. I mean, and you could tell, like, the family's like, you could tell literally, like, the family, meaning Nicola's parents and sister and Emma White and all those people, and they're literally getting frustrated. They're like, okay, quit pushing down the fact she fell in the river, like, you have, like, there's nothing, and the father is saying, like, are you sure, this isn't a third party involvement? And, according to that, like I said, other media, it said, the person, whoever it was, Rebecca, one of the other police, said that they didn't believe so. I don't think so. Well, that's great. We all know how long it took them to cordon it off. We all know how so, they obviously, again, like Dabster had said in an email, they obviously checked the garage CCTV footage at that garage, but it took them forever. Like, what are the chances, eh? Poor Nicola. What are the chances that the camera that would have seen everything isn't working? Like, talking about either this is the worst shit luck in the world, or it was the perfect storm. That, like, how do you don't even have a camera? And the camera, like, the camera that's there is broken. Like, how, right? Like,
I would still like to know, was it broken? Was it not broken?
According to everything I've listened to and come across, whether it was this media source or this channel or this interview or whatever, kept hearing the same thing, that camera in the caravan camera at the back of the field that would have saw everything, saw nothing. Right. I just saw Isla talking about that as well on an interview that she was doing again. And, but I've seen it multiple times where it said it wasn't working. But they've never ever said two cameras there. They just said that the camera for the caravan park or whatever wasn't working.
We saw pictures of it early on. Weren't there pictures of the cameras? And there were two. There was, one on the right, and one that went to the left, and one that went to the right.
We saw that on a picture.
Yeah, a picture of the cameras.
Do we actually see? I can't. You know what? Sometimes it gets all muddled in the mix of everything. I remember seeing the cameras and somebody posting the cameras for the two different spots or whatever. I know that there was, I don't know. I just, for a land in the UK that always is talking about CCTV cameras, that they saw them on CCTV cameras or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like I said, this is either like the most shittiest luck for Nicola or the perfect storm. You know what I mean? It was everything. And then, like I said, this just seemed like a simple case. Phone, dog, woman should be in water, right there within the vicinity, you know. I mean, and then again, like, like the psychic dude lives like 50 miles away or something like that. So I don't, okay, look at, I'm a very spiritual person in many ways myself, but so to me that it's almost like someone taking a venture out there. I don't know that, I don't know that the gods opened up and was like, yep, you're going to find her today. I'm not sure I necessarily believe that as much as that they went and took a trip out there and just saw her, you know, and she was floating down the water because high tidal, I think you guys said. Oh, thank you, Mama Bear Blue. That's so sweet of you. If we can just give a round of applause for that comment too, kind of like
Thank
the
you very
20.
much.
Yeah. Thanks, Mama Bear Blue. We just like to take, you know what? We like to be transparent and honest, and not sit here and throw crap down your butt, and joke, and in a sense at the same time, because you have to have the balance. Like I said, there's a lot of cases out there, but you have to have the balance of being lighthearted in a sense as well, because it's a very true crime is very sad. There's some structured channels out there that like to do their thing. Okay, great. There's enough of those channels. I like just being who we are. I couldn't conform to being totally structured if my life depended on it. My twin sister can be like that. It's not me. So the minute I feel like I'm being constrained from being who I am, I feel like my wings are clipped. I feel like I'm getting suffocated. So I can never be anything other than who I am. And that's why in my life, oh, hold on. Hold on, people. That is the 8,000 subscribe. Wait, it jumped up to 8,002 all of a sudden. So who's the one that is showing up though? Let's go down. Not that you win anything. You can win our love and win our appreciation. So, okay, hold on. Look at the name. You go ahead and say it.
I like that name. That's a beautiful name. Black Moon Lilith.
There we go. Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah. Exclamation mark. There you go.
Thank you for subscribing.
Well, it actually said 8,000, but then it jumped up to 8,002. Anyways, thank you guys for doing that. So I only found out yesterday that Paul was married. Oh, really, Paula? That's my older sister's name, by the way. That Paul was married before? Has anybody else heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean, and Nicola had been, she dated that actor for a long time too. I can't remember the name of the actor that she dated.
Okay. Well, they had been together for, what was it, 12 or 13 years total.
I believe they've been together for 12, married for 8, right?
So, like 8 or 9 it was, yeah. I know. Nobody thinks she could have been abducted before the walks. Yeah, you know what? I just want to, give me a second here. I just want to go.
Here's my only, like, I'm sorry, yeah, go Sunny. The only,
nope. Go ahead.
The only thing that keeps me from thinking that that I mean, I think Nicola went on that walk, and the only reason I think that is because I don't think there's any way you could get those two girls to go along with a lie. They know their mom dropped them off at school that day. I don't believe it was Emma. Those two girls would have cracked under questioning so fast. They wouldn't. They're too old to go along with a lie, and I don't think there's any way they could have faked that. So, yeah, I understand the suspicion, but it's the one thing that it keeps me from going down that path, because I don't think you can get around the fact that those girls know that their mom dropped them off at school.
Yeah. I mean, it was her car there. I mean, I don't believe personally. If you guys do, or some people do, that's fine. of course, because there's nothing consistent about this case anyway. So,
No.
you know,
Yeah, no, after she dropped the girls off, I don't know. You know, that's as far as, you know, I mean, anything could have happened after she dropped those girls off. But
I puncture the narrative. I believe that most of the characters involved in the Nikki Bully case are actors. You know, like
yeah, they weren't married. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't
no,
mean to interrupt you.
no, right? They weren't married. They weren't married. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why didn't I catch on that as well? Because I knew that. I knew that. What the heck? Um, it's so easy to make. You know, I just think from the beginning of this case, again, the witnesses, you know, like even the guy with the fluffy white dog, as well, which he's 64, by the way. Um, even the guy with the fluffy white dog, like, was he truly the one at 9:10 to see her? Um, you know, I mean, the thing was is that you guys, some of you guys obviously know that, you know, the one guy that did the blog, had said that he called the wife, and the wife, you know, didn't really want to speak to him, but she did say that the Times had contacted her, which is the wife that spoke out for the husband, which is the fluffy white dog guy, the one that said about that she had seen Nicola and that before, you know, and she had like nice Wellington boots and green Wellington boots and a smart bobby hat or bobble hat or whatever it's called, um, that she wore. Um, and not that the wife seen her that day because she was speaking for the husband. Um, Emma and Paul have both done acting. You know, I'm not going to lie. Whenever I know, though, that somebody is an actor, I always have to, you know, raise my eyebrow a little bit more,
Right.
because when somebody is trained to, you know, like I said, to act, you know, you have to ask yourself, you know, like, are you putting on an act? You know, or are you being honest? Because I always look for, you know, I'm a people reader in a sense.
Same.
It's always been a very strong forte. If there's any cancers, you know, in the building here with us as we're talking about this, and I don't want to take away from the other zodiac signs, but cancers know that they're very intuitive, and if you call a spade, you're pretty much usually on point. Like if it, and like knowing my own zodiac sign. I know since I've been younger, I've been very intuitive. I don't want to ever use the word psychic, okay? Just very intuitive. And so I find people very interesting. It's not that I set out to do it, it's just I automatically do it. I automatically will put you underneath suspicion when I'm talking to you, because during the time I'm talking to you in real, I'm looking to see if you're a phony or a fake. I can't stand those people. I can't stand phonies and I can't stand fakes. They drive me crazy. You know, I just wish people would be who they are, you know, and try to be a little bit kinder in this world as you're going through it. That would be nice. But I'm always judging somebody very quickly. And Scorpio here. Uh, yeah, well, I'm Cancer. We're water signs. um, they are pretty lousy actors. Cancer girls. So, Elaine, I mean, like I said, I don't want to take away from the others because I'm just speaking for the own zodiac, but you know, I like to feel like, well, actually, I don't like to feel. I actually know that I am. It's been, you know, how you know about yourself, what you're good at and what you're not. Well, me always calling, like seeing somebody for who they are. I see it right away. I smell you. I see you. I'm looking literally right through you because you're not fooling me. But when it comes to actors, there are some people that, like I said, you have to, you know, when somebody's trained that way, yeah, you have to sit there and almost put a little bit more effort into it. I would love to get confirmation that Emma White was at the school feeling the delay between 9:30 and 10:50 a.m. was to execute a plan to get back. Um, yeah. You know, why don't you just message her, SX Boys? I mean, no harm, no foul. could just message her and ask her. She's probably not going to respond, to be honest with you. I remember messaging Penny Fletcher, but that's before I realized that, you know, she was considered the grumpy lady and whatever. And I was just like, hey, you know, whatever I said in the thing or whatever. But sometimes, you know, I don't usually often do that. But when something's driving me crazy, and then it's like, it's very rare. I think I've maybe reached out to her, maybe a handful of people in my entire time with, well, Delphi definitely a few more. And sometimes I get shocked when somebody does answer me back and they're willing to speak up a little bit. But yeah, like, it's just that I feel like the people that are close to Nicola Bulley, besides the people are talking amongst themselves, you know, other than that, you know, sometimes I go to their Facebooks and I'm like, are they saying anything? Most of them have their friends off and you don't see much of their Facebook profile too much. But sometimes I kind of go see if anyone's posting anything about, you know, Nicola. So I wonder if after the inquest, if more people are going to speak, you know, when it comes to that, yeah, over there in Preston, Lancashire, St. Michael's on the Wire, whichever, that area.
I'm sure they've probably been asked not to, you know, until. Although, if the police say there's nothing, you know, there's no investigation and nothing ongoing, then what would prevent them from being able to speak however they wanted?
Mm-hmm. See, can I ask you guys from the UK that are watching right now? Do you guys follow a lot of the cases that are going on in the United States? Like, does anybody follow, for instance, the Delphi murders, the Idaho 4? Some, you know, kind of like, I feel like Nicola Bulley to you is like what Delphi is to you know, to the true crime. That, I can see it. Like, again, I like talking about it, and if you guys like talking about Nicola Bulley as well, you're so passionate. It's kind of like Delphi. I spent over, and I'm still on it, but we just don't do it as much because it's at a stagnant point right now till the court dates start happening. But you know, we spent 2 years, and still, you know,
Pincho, how do you have any brain cells left covering if you follow that case? That case is too much drama for me. You mix like all the twists and turns in Summer Wells case along with all those rednecks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't handle it.
You know, the thing was, Pincho, I followed that case. I did I like to do tribute videos, and so I did a tribute video for Summer Wells, and I remember it was Paw Patrol, I believe it was. But anyway, so I was following that case, and that case, within a day, it went psycho fast. And honestly, even I had to back off from it because it was like being in a loony island or something like that.
Right.
The things that people were doing and saying, and they were like literally leaving these disgusting comments on a 16-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy's Facebook. It was ridiculous. And I did, me too. It became like kind of like the Lori Vallow case. Like there's some cases that no matter what, like they become just so loony and absurd that, and then the people like some of these true crime sleuths that are just, you know, over the top.
Just overshadow the victim. The case becomes so wild that it overshadows the victim, and I hate that. Like, you know, I hate that, you know, Lori Vallow, she gets all the attention and no one pays attention to the kids, you know, and I feel like Summer Wells' case is like that as well. I mean, this is a little girl that's still never been found, and everyone just focuses on the craziness around the case. So I get it. I mean, I get it, but it does make me sad.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Pincho, to be honest with you, and I shouldn't say a good friend, a friend from the internet that I talked to multiple times since the Suzanne Morphy case. She actually worked on the Summer Wells case. She was to do with child exploitation, and her partner was like an FBI agent. Anyways, a beautiful, beautiful lady. Her name was Stacy Tolleson. Stacy Slade Tolleson, and she literally passed away about 2 weeks ago, and I'm just devastated. She had told me privately, but I can say it now because I don't care, because she's passed away now. So she would always, every now and again give me some updates about the Summer Wells case. And she was saying that when the boys were taken away and they were in the hospital, um, she just would be like, Sonny, in her, accent. She would just be like, Sonny, this is just breaking my heart, because she was on that case for months. And, just the boys, all she said she wanted to do was like, just take them home, like these innocent children, victims out of all this. Summer Wells case is a case that sits in my heart as well. The John Bonet case will always sit in my heart.
Tomorrow's the 16-year anniversary of Madeleine McCann.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Right?
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. It's very normal. This delay. Emma. Fun. Emma used the word like milestone, which is more of an achievement word, right? A milestone, yeah. And not one you use for a missing buddy. Emma uses word, yeah. I don't recall that specifically though. Like meaning, it's probably stuck out to you. I don't know. When you see so many different things, interviews and whatever, and after a while, it's just like mush, on the brain. At the beginning,
I will give Emma White one compliment. Marsh Farms looks like a beautiful place to have an event.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was told that that's exactly where Paul was doing his interview. Was that Marsh Farms, and that's where the parents and the sister had done the interview. Probably it was right near, right? At the beginning of the Idaho 4 case, because it's so weird on Google when you try to look up where Nicola Bulley lived, you can see the buildings, but the minute you go down to the ground, it vanishes. There's no homes there. It's just a farmyard. It drives me crazy sometimes. Google Earth. You guys ever notice that? If you guys ever Googled where Nicola Bulley and that their home, people
they had it. Did they black it out?
No, it's not that they blacked it out. It's just that you could see that homes were there because obviously they were built at some time after their Google Earth thing. But the minute you went down to the ground, it was just farmland, like a cow pasture thing or something. And it would drive me crazy because I would see these TikTokers and whatever, and they were posting just all they would do. These TikTokers, you could see some of them, they were just putting in the address. And then the first house that popped up, they would say that this is where Paul and Emma are, not Paul, Freudian slip.
Freudian slip there, Sonny.
Freudian slip, yep. Paul and Nicola lived. And yeah, and it would be like, that's not their home. You can literally tell that that's not where that vehicle left from. Don't get me started on the Madeleine McCann. Yeah, milestone. Yeah, how did she use it? Like in what sentence did she use the word milestone? Do you remember? At the beginning, Mama Bear says at the beginning of that Idaho 4 case, I was obsessed. I lost interest after he was arrested. Yeah. Waiting for the court case.
People did Mama Bear Blue.
I mean, ourselves included. What were you going to say?
Right. Well, I mean, I personally, I like court proceedings. So like, I'm interested when like the weird little things come out that don't mean anything to anyone else. I'm like, ooh, there's a hearing. Yeah. But there are some like TikTokers and YouTubers that, I mean, they are milking the Idaho thing for every thing they possibly can. I mean, when that Bethany Funk information came out last week, which is one of the surviving roommates, I mean, I saw one creator did like 5 videos in one day.
Oh,
I was like, okay. Calm down.
Well, you know what? I was going to say, and that was my babe. I was going to say, like, I mean, one can say that we're riding the Nicola Bulley a lot of the channels, and there's some that truly are. Like, it for me, it becomes a matter of, are you doing it truly because you care about a case, or are you doing it because you just want money from the people, the donations, or like, I will never, and I'll say this right to anyone's face, and I've said this all my life, I will never put money ever before a human being. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Nicola Bulley, there's people that want to talk about it. I like talking about it. I have no problem creating a video or talking about Delphi, because they're cases that, that we truly care about. If we didn't truly care about it, myself personally, and Adam's the same way, we get bored rather quickly. We just couldn't. Hence why we don't really do much with the Idaho 4 too much, because if you're just not feeling it, you're just not feeling it. You're waiting for, like you said, he's arrested. Yes, there's some information when it comes out, we'll put it to it. But every day, you're right, some content creators, right, like you said, that one in particular, JLR, 5 videos a day, every day, and yet he was a con man in jail for 10 years, right, for scamming people.
And the people that are just dying to find out who the DoorDash driver was, and what her name is, and was she delivering drugs? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't with you people. So.
But I don't. You guys, for me personally, I don't really watch a lot of content creators. I really just don't. I just like to dive.
I watch a lot of TikTok.
Hey.
I see a lot of it on TikTok.
Yeah. I don't even do TikTok too much, to be honest. Probably should do that more. But I just like to dig around and search for stuff myself. Like, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out who Ron Rogers really was, like who that person was. I like a lot of time, probably too much time into that one, to be honest with you. But I like to do my own research. I don't like to be fed off of other people's thoughts. I'll look at information in the media and stuff like that, but it's very, very rare you'll catch me watching somebody's live. Although I was listening to the Lucy Letby podcast a little bit, I only got to episode 2 though before I fell asleep again.
Right. I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, that's it.
I only live like 2 hours from where Alex Murdoch is lives and everything, and I ignored that for years. I didn't start following it until literally the trial had started. Right when the trial started. Because I heard about it so much on the news and everything, just living local. I ignored every bit of that case, and then as soon as that trial started, I was zeroed in on it. So yeah, some cases they don't strike your they just don't get your attention like others do.
David, take no offense to Streamlabs. It's just because you typed something where it deemed it as a link because of your punctuation. It does that. So just have a word with Streamlabs, okay? Emma White interview. They stay where they're put. What? Emma White interview. They stay where they're put. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Puncture. What does that mean?
I'm not sure what she was referring to in the article, in the interview.
They stay where they're put. Yeah, I'd have to have a little bit more to go on than that one. It's a shut case. There will be a misadventure.
Right. And I think you might be right. Whether that's true.
Nicola?
Yeah.
Nicola?
Yeah, I don't know if that would necessarily is going to be the truth, but I do think that could be the ruling.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like regardless, no matter what, it's going to come back as she did fall in. I think it's just going to come back as a basic. I don't even know, honestly, if they're really if they're going to give out the answer truly or not. Right. I feel like regardless, even if there was something more to it, that it's just going to kind of come back as, just unfortunate, time of events. Well, we all know that, like I said, this world was full of truthful people all the time. That would be great, but that's not this world. And we all know that people say things, do things, cover up things, and there's definitely lack of honesty that goes on in this world, whether it's from the government, down to just your regular people every day, so it's hard to know what to believe, especially when people backtrack on what they're saying or doing and whatever. And it does. It's like, I'm just a truthologist myself. So I'm just like, cut the shit, just put the truth out there. But, like I said, either politics come into it, or bull crap and stuff like that. And that's the sad truth.
Yeah. So what happened to Buckingham Palace today?
What happened to
I mean,
Buckingham?
y'all are in the UK. So can someone tell me what happened to Buckingham Palace? I was confused. Like they had to like have a coordinated like someone threw shotgun shells or something over the fence 4 days before the coronation.
Oh, is the coronation in 4 days?
It's Saturday.
Is it? It's not the one where what's her face? Meghan Markle's not going, but Harry is.
Yeah.
Probably best to be
I think it's
honest.
their kid's birthday or something.
Is it? Oh, good excuse. Okay. Yeah, he was an electrical engineer. Something about planes. Something to do with planes or whatever. Justice isn't served. I think the public might try to serve it for the UK. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of passionate people about this case.
Yeah. Puncture, I know a lot of people that feel that way.
Yeah, and like I said, the Nicola Bulley to me is like the Delphi of true crime here. Is that and like I said, I mean, I don't watch Armchair Detective Guy, dude, but when I happened to see it the other day, there was like 1,000 people in his chat. Like, it grew to 1,000 people in his chat. I mean, he does have, I think he has a few channels, if I'm not mistaken, like blue, green, red. I don't know. And anyways, it was the blue one, and he has like 80 something K subs, but he had like a 1K people in his chat, and that's how I know how much people are passionate. Like, again, this channel, you guys in the UK and stuff like that, obviously you guys have your certain channels that you guys go to out there, and this one has been growing over time because, again, we've dived into the Nicola Bulley case. So we truly appreciate that. And hence why we're doing this live today. This wasn't a scheduled live day. Again, we just thought we would do a live for the UK. And it's really for the fact that you guys, like ourselves, are passionate about the case.
Right.
And it's still, I call it mind effery in a sense, this case. I mean, it truly is, from the get-go to all of it. Something that should have been simple just turned out to be
convoluted.
You know what? I'm so sorry, but I still can't help but, just for their own sake, the fact that they didn't even find her. Like, seriously, they didn't even find her. That blows me away in all of this, that they didn't even find her. That they were so convinced on their story, and yet they couldn't even find her. Worth nothing. Like, seriously. And it's like someone's playing this cruel joke of, on this poor mother and this family or something like that. I don't know. Like, it just blows me away from having no information about Nicola to the fact that no, they didn't even find her. Yeah, you guys did a shit job over there, police, that was covering that case. Well, I don't want to say that fully because obviously, there were some people that did shit jobs. But for the most part, obviously there's people that work very hard and they tried to find her. It's not like they were trying to find her. It's just having arrogance and then getting, like almost like getting laid on your back basically and being like, oh, look at that. You guys didn't even find her. You guys got no proof, nothing that you ever showed us and stuff like that, I just hope that this teaches them for the next time. And when they have a big case that comes out like that they will handle it definitely. Well, maybe they'll deem it as a crime scene, first and foremost, right? I don't know. It's
always a good start.
Had to get over the 1-inch weir. I know. What do you guys think about that, right? About the police going back and then the guy floating over the weir. I mean, that was obviously to try to figure out how she got over the weir, because obviously she was found beyond the weir. What do you guys think about that? And then we'll get going here.
Okay, that's 11:30 for you guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3:26 my time of PM here.
6:30 here.
I'm gonna have ham and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing for dinner tonight. That's what I'm making. There's see, there it is. There's our buddy John. Check it out. Crime Scene to Courtroom channel. If you guys don't, of course, know who he is, which I'm sure most of you do, but if you don't, yeah. Yeah, that whole going back to the, when the coroner sent them back over, like that right there told me
further investigation.
They didn't know really what happened to Nicola if they literally have to send them back over to the weir to understand how that she got over the weir. I don't know. That's how I see that. People usually sit on those weirs, do they? Yeah, I mean, it's a very beautiful area.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, like honestly, I would live in that town. It's so cute, you know.
I mean, lots of people do.
I like cobblestone and brick and stuff like that. When and you know what? When next time we go to England, I'm gonna have to ask my husband if we can go over to Preston there to that area.
Yeah. Last time I was in the UK in November. It was just for the night, but I mean, it was so cold, and it was raining, and I was not prepared clothing wise because we were just there for one night on my way back from Portugal.
Oh, Adam, the sun coming from your windlet there.
Oh,
it's so weird. It's like so strong. It's like Jesus is coming for you or something.
Yeah.
No, that's worse. Plus, the fake rock was brought from Scotland for the coronation. Oh, hi, Angel. Yeah, we're just going to be getting off here in a second, Angel. Thanks for stopping by. And again, thanks for the subs. But let's see. But if you can sit on them, you have a grip, not sliding over them. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's weird. Yeah. Well, that's why for me, I'm going to have a personal hard time believing what the inquest says. Because if they literally had to go back in the corner, sent them, that means that they didn't truly know like what happened to Nicola. And so, like I said, so I mean, they were obviously trying to figure out how she got over the weir.
Yeah.
How did everything go so wrong? No cameras working. How could it all go so wrong? For poor Nicola. I don't know. Or you're making me drool.
And I mean, even if they thought she was vulnerable, what caused there to be such a large search so fast? Mm-hmm. I mean, this was a fully grown adult, So what about it made them decide they had to start searching so quickly with such large numbers of people?
Yeah,
I've always been curious about that as well. And remember, I think they had to like search in pairs in the beginning, like if you were going to be a volunteer searcher.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't let anyone go out alone.
Yeah.
The Nicola Bulley is fiction.
The story is fiction, like the Delphi one.
Depends on who's telling it.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Essex.
Hey, Angel.
Is that when I was reading about that, because I looked that up as well, and it's very rare that a coroner usually asks, if it's a crime scene, that's one thing, but it's very rare to sit there and say, hey, go back and check in the water. So.
Of course we're not in the UK, but I couldn't find any other cases in the little bit that I was trying to search just for other cases where they went back, that the coroner requested them go back out to a scene to search. I couldn't find any, especially not in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. It just boggles me all the like I said, the different inconsistencies. It just boggles me, to be honest with you. The case boggles me. There's nothing that can be done to bring Nicola back. I feel so sad for those two girls. And you guys, don't forget, please, please, please. I'm going to do another video about this. I don't care if it barely gets any views. Hopefully you guys will share it. But I really want to do another video on that Reese Rogers. Again, this mom is pleading for help just to figure out what happened. Right? He goes camping with some buddies. At 11, basically at 11:18, he calls Paula, another Paula. He calls Paula, and his phone turns off at 8:19. He's believed to have been seen at 11:30 walking down. I can't. I'm trying to think of the place, what it's called. Anyways, it was in Loch Rannoch. Am I saying that right? Loch Rannoch. Loch Rannoch. I don't know if I'm saying that right again. It's hard to keep up with you English and the Scotland's and that over there. But anyways,
Scottish.
yeah, um, it's. I'm just heartbroken for it because it reminds me of the Nicola Bulley case. The fact that she doesn't know if he's alive and just took off. She doesn't know if he's in the water anywhere. She doesn't know if he took his own life. She doesn't know anything, and the police have exhausted, their efforts with looking in water and whatever, and just could not locate him. So the mom is still telling the child that their dad, like there's two boys that are involved, that they have, and the mom is still telling the children that daddy went fishing, that daddy's fishing. It is drama llama, and it's breaking my heart. And like I said, sometimes you put out videos, like I said, you don't care because you're just putting it out there. It's not about, I mean, yeah, you want it to get views because you want people to share it. You want anyone that's in the area, to post it so that if he is still alive, because there are people that just take off from their life, right? But that if he is, because the thing is that at 11:30, someone actually pulled over their vehicle, to see if he needed any help. Okay, so they seem to believe that this is accurate, that it probably was him. Um, and then when the person went to go offer help, he disappeared. So that almost makes it seem like he was avoiding, like the minute somebody stopped, he took off the other way or something like that. Now, I still, whether it was to take his own life, whether it was that he drowned in the water like I said, whether he just took off from life, but that's the whole point, um, when you're doing things, like I said, and it's just not based around views and clicks, but you want those because you want, I feel horrible for Paula because it reminds me of how horrible I felt about Nicola, that I feel so horrible for this mother that's telling her kids that their dad's fishing, and the kid's starting to be like, he's 4 years old, the one that keeps asking. And if anyone else was in these shoes and it was your husband or your wife, the devastation that you would feel every day not knowing literally breaks my heart to the core. Just because I'm an empath, like I said, is that you just feel it. Like you can't help but feel somebody else's sadness. At least that's the way I work. And so every time I see the article, and Dabster had sent me one today, it just breaks you to the core to know that somebody's suffering, and she has two children. This, partner that she was with, is just disappeared, and there's just no answers. And man, that is the worst feeling in the world. That is one of the most tragic events. Like, there's bad things that happen to people, but people know where their bodies are and they have had their proper funeral. But when somebody's children or a wife or a husband or a family member and they're just gone,
right?
Hardest thing. I really, like, even as I'm thinking about it now, my heart is just in so much pain thinking about stuff like that because it's just so tragic. I put myself in their shoes. Like, how would I feel? Of course, I would be going out of my mind if I had to sit here and wonder what happened to my husband with no answers. That's just cruel. That's just cruel on the world. Anyways, you guys, I think he's been found. No, Nikyo, not that I know of, because I just seen an article from yesterday.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and I'm not seeing anything. The most recent article I'm seeing is 1 day ago.
It's Reese Rogers, RODG. Yeah, I just seen an article. Yeah.
Yeah, from the Edinburgh Live was the last article I'm seeing. On the Daily Record had one yesterday as well.
Yeah, I'm going to put out another video on that. All I'm asking for you guys is if you can be so kind and caring to share that video when I do put it out. Give it a like, hit the algorithm, give it a share. Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say, because I think that's the most cruel, horrific punishment against someone not knowing where a loved one is. Yeah, it's Reese, Reece, Rogers, Rodgers. Did they find Emily Margison? I'm not sure who.
And I think Reese, I don't think there's an S. I think it's just Reese Roger.
Oh, could be. Is it Reese Roger? I don't know. I keep saying Ron Rogers or Ron. No, I think it's Rogers. Is it? What does the article say? Does it say Roger?
Roger. Yeah.
Okay. So there's no S.
Rodger.
Reese Roger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll put it in the chat. Ben said, did they find Emily? Oh, you read that. I think you might have read that already.
Yeah.
I don't know if they. Hey, Ben.
Emily. Yeah. Hey, Ben. How are you? My eldest son does, I think. Emily Margison. Let's see here. Margison. Oh. Let's see. Police make 2 days ago. Another of Lancaster. Oh, okay. Oh, another of Lancashire's lost.
Yeah.
No. Oh, from Preston. Oh, 20 years old. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Let me just stop screen and let's just go over.
Very close.
Okay. So this says, police make direct plea to missing woman. Here, hold on. Let me take this off first of all.
She left from a hospital.
Was last seen almost 3 weeks ago. Well, there's that Michael guy that left there and they found his body. So let's see. Not a very good photo of her. Emily Margison, who has links to Manchester and Rochdale, has not been seen since April 6th. An urgent plea of appeal has been launched to trace a missing woman who was last seen at a hospital almost 3 weeks ago, with huge efforts underway to trace her. Emily Margison, 20, from Preston, was last seen at around 11:15 a.m. on April 6th at Chorley Hospital. She has known links in Manchester, Rochdale, Darwin, Blackburn, and Burnley. Burnley, yeah. Sorry, guys, if I'm butchering those names. Emily was reported missing a few days later, and inquiries have been ongoing ever since to find her, to no avail. Police say they are extremely concerned about her and have made direct plea to her in their appeal. Emily is described as 5'5" of slim build with blonde hair. She was last seen wearing a nude-colored jacket. PC Alan Hewitt of Chorley Police said, "We are extremely concerned about Emily and are asking anyone with information about where she might be to get in touch with us straight away. We have followed a number of lines of inquiry but have found no trace of Emily. If you have seen her or have information about where she might be, please get in touch. Emily, if you see this, we are concerned for your welfare and ask that you contact us to let us know." Okay. So, I mean, that's not the best picture in the world. Is this one any better? Yeah. So from a hospital, eh? Well, I'll have to incorporate that with the Reese Roger one. Maybe I'll just do, a missing one out there. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Ben, did you bring her up before? Is that why I remember the name? It could be why I remember the name. Anyways, you guys.
Yeah. Looks like 69 people are left in the chat. It's a good time to say goodnight.
You guys, if anyone doesn't know me here, I know I love the 69 I was born in 69. Great position. It's definitely a great position. And of course, the summer of 69. I know that sometimes it's TMI for some people.
Always works out better for one person than the other.
I'm actually, okay, even though as I get older, and 68, now we're at 68, for you do me and I owe you one. All right. But anyway, 69, if anyone knows me, that's like my favorite number. And I always was very proud of the fact I was born in 69, just for that reason. All right. Anyways, you guys, take care. Please give a like and a share. If you haven't checked out the earlier videos, please go check them out as well. Lucy Leppy trial stood trial today on this, on it. And tomorrow we're going to be doing a live. I'm not sure what we're doing it on. Andrew said that he will get back to me later, Adam. So I'm not sure tomorrow night, but tomorrow night we're at 9:30, our regular scheduled time, 9:30 Eastern Pacific time, which is like really early in the morning, the UK time. Anyways, you guys take care. God bless. Oh,
good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
I totally forgot. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, because I totally forgot I made a small little extra. So good night, you guys, and take care. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.